Hey there, my name is Jason Alpert, and I'm guessing if you're watching this video, that means that you have volunteered, or I guess you've been voluntold to be a bid spotter in a live auction at the upcoming fundraiser. Now, I want you to know that whether you're working with me or any of my partners, Jeff Cowan or Joe Gervin or Valley Adams, we'll all tell you that being a bid spotter is a really easy job, but it's also really important to making sure we have a successful live auction and bid from the heart. Now, I'll explain exactly to you how we're going to ask you to be part of both of those parts of the program. There are 4 best practices to being a good bid spotter. The first one, as you might imagine, is to spot the bids. When we see you in person at the event, we're going to assign you your exact tables in the exact area of the room that you have to monitor. If somebody in those sections is trying to bid or donate, it's your job to get our attention, to spot the bids. How do you do that? When you spot the bids, you get our attention one of 3 ways. The first way is by doing this. Hey, 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 hey! I know most of you are not that comfortable doing that, which is why we give you 2 other options. Option number 2 is to use a light stick. The light stick looks just like this. There may be a plastic tab in the back of the light stick. You pull that out, there's a button on the bottom, and you hit that. Now, you may not see it because of the lights here in the studio, but it's got multiple different settings on this. Every time you push the button, it's a different setting. Any setting except a strobe setting. It can change colors, but it can't be a strobe light. Donors and bidders don't like that, so you turn this on. But please understand that no matter how fast you wave this in the back of the room, we can't hear this. So don't understand why we're not turning around if you are waving this in the back of the room, but this is option 2 to get our attention. And then option 3 is to use the whistle that we're going to provide to you. Understand these whistles are really loud. I'm going to blow it for you right now, and if you need to blow it loud, you need to blow it loud, because in big rooms it's really the only way that we can see and hear where you're going to be at. Understand that we're very mobile auctioneers. We may be in the back right of the room and you're working in the front left of the room, and how do you get our attention? You blow the whistle. Because this microphone is here, I'm going to do this. Don't be afraid to blow the whistle loud. When we meet with you on the night of the event, we're going to have you blow the whistle while we're with you in person, just to make sure during our training to make sure that you're comfortable blowing the whistle. Don't be afraid to blow the whistle. Understand also that part of spotting the bids is standing close to your bidder. If you have someone who's trying to bid and we come over to you and we say, "Where is our bidder?" and you point to someone 2 tables away, they're in your section, but you're 2 tables away from them, we have no idea who you're pointing at over there. There's 30 people between you and where your bidder is, too far. So please, put your hip on their chair, take your light stick or your finger and just point down exactly what your bidder is so we know exactly where they are. So that's all part of spotting the bid as well. Please stand as close as possible to your bidder. The second thing we'll ask you to do, number 1 was spot the bids. Number 2 is help raise the energy level of the room. That's going to happen 3 times throughout the auction. The first time is probably the most important. We're going to introduce you at the beginning of the auction by saying something like, "We can't do this auction without the best group of bid spotters in town. Tonight, you all are the best group of bid spotters in town." So when we say, "Where are our bid spotters at?" you all are going to hoot and holler and jump up and down and wave your light sticks and blow your whistles. That's going to do 2 things. Number 1, it's going to let people know who and where you are. They're not going to have to get our attention to put in a bid. They can get your attention. You're going to put in the bid for them. The second thing it does, though, it lets people know this is a fun, energized auction. So please, don't be afraid to hoot and holler and have some fun when we introduce you at the beginning of the auction. The second time we'll ask you to bring the energy is when you have an active bidder in your section. Again, when someone in your section is bidding, let us know. Blow that whistle, wave that light stick, whatever you can do to let us know where the bid is coming from. And then third and finally, when we say sold, I don't care if everyone at our event is all sitting on their hands and no one does anything. Our group of bid spotters is going to let them know how much we appreciate them donating and winning auction items and supporting our organization. So when we say sold, please go absolutely crazy and let our donors know that we appreciate them winning auction items. So number 1 was bid spotting, is spot the bids. Number 2, best practice of bid spotting is to raise the energy level. Number 3 is help sell. I don't need you all to be hardcore salespeople out there. That's our job. What we do need you to be is the first line of defense. If anybody asks any questions during the live auction, you're going to have more interaction with them than we will. So don't be afraid if they ask you a question to help them answer those questions. Before the auction starts, make sure you find out where the live auction descriptions are. They may be on the bidder card, they may be on the mobile bidding platform, they may be on a hard copy sheet listed on the table somewhere. Wherever the live auction descriptions are, if you can get your hands on one of those and somebody asks you a question, that's what you should read first. And if you can't answer their question about the auction item based on the description that you've been given, then go up to the auctioneer and say, hey, we got a great question from out here. They want to know if airfare is included in this package, whatever the question may be. So don't be afraid to come up and interrupt the auction to ask the question, because we need to make sure that every donor, potential bidder, potential donor knows exactly what's in the package. So don't be afraid to interrupt us if you get a good question. And fourth and finally, best practice of being a good bid spotter is to help us control the room. And by that I mean there are a couple times throughout the program where we're going to need it really, really quiet in the room. And if we need it really quiet and we can't get it quiet on our own, we're going to ask you for your help in doing that. And how do we do it? It's very simple. We've got a nice subtle way of shushing the crowd, right? If we shush the crowd, we're going to ask them to shush, and we're going to ask you to shush them with us. Now, here's how you do not shush a crowd. Shh, right? You never look somebody in the eye and shush them. That's rude. But if you and all of our bid spotters and our auctioneer are up on stage and they all do this, shh, we're going to get the room really quiet really quickly. Don't ever look anybody in the eye, but if we're shushing the crowd, shush them with us, and we're going to get them really quiet at those most important parts of the program. So that's it. Those are the 4 best practices of being a good bid spotter. So if we don't get a chance to see you after the auction, ahead of time, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, and thank you to everyone watching this video, because, as I mentioned, we can't have good auctions without good bid spotters.